We're closing the border, and we're drilling.
And you keep us moving towards energy independence.
Our country must cut back its reliance on foreign oil.
I said, we're going to need oil for at least another decade. See, and beyond that, we're going to need it.
Based on how much politicians talk about oil, you might think that US, our oil is running out, but actually we still have about 35 years worth of oil left worldwide. So the story isn't running out of oil. It's about how the money and trade tied the oil are being reshaped. Oil just hit $190 per barrel. Strait of Hormuz is under tension in global markets are shaking. The spike would threaten the petrodollar, that the system that the oils to the US dollar. If it collapses, it could change how money and trade work worldwide. Since the war in Iran kicked off, we have seen a whole lot of headlines about the decline of so-called petrodollar. And it's an idea that the Iranians themselves are apparently leaning into, with CNN reporting in March that Iran was considering only allowing oil tankers for the Strait of Hormuz if their cargoes were priced in Chinese yuan in order to, quote, stabilize the petrodollar. So in this video, we are going to explain what the petrodollar actually is and whether it's under threat. And the answer is yes, but probably not for the reason you might think. So let's start by explaining what petrodollar actually are. In short, petrodollar are US dollar received by oil exporting countries and exchange for their crude oil. All exporting countries generally earn dollars for their exports because the oil trade is generally denominated in dollar. In other words, if you want to buy a barrel of oil and the international markets, chances you will have to pay for it with dollar. Now, some people claim that the global oil trade is denominated in dollar. Is a big reason that the US dollar is the world's most popular currency, or most especially the world so-called reserve currency. That's a currency that central banks and other financial institutions like to hold in reserve. The US government debate, for instance, allowing the US government to borrow lots of money and run large budget deficits. That means that US can literally impose sanctions on other countries by denying them access to the dollar based on financial system. Anyway, the idea here seems to be the dollar is popular because you need a dollar to buy oil, and everyone needs oil, so everyone needs dollars. Today, pretty easy to buy oil in other major currencies, even if its underlying contract is denominated in dollar. It's also worth noting that the oil is less central to the global economy that used to be an evidence by worldwide decline in oil intensity, which basically measures how much oil is required to produce a unit of GDP. The point we are trying to make is that today we really don't need dollars to buy oil, nor does everyone need as much oil as they used to, which should cause some debate on the idea that mere fact that oil is priced in dollar is somehow central to the dollar global appeal. This speaks to a more general misunderstanding in the petrodollar discourse. If the petrodollar, whatever we mean by that, is fading, it's likely a symptom, not the cause of deeper problem.